to speak. And some of them have already speak. It's not Chinese. Turkic languages, but different tribes, like Uyghur tribes of Turkic, Uyghur Turkic, Kazakh Turkic, and Kyrgyz Turkic, so on. But we are one nation, but divided by our ruler, the Chinese, at this present time. East Turkestan, which had remained an independent state for many years, centuries, was invaded and conquered by the Qing Empire in 1759. During the years which followed, the native people rebelled on numerous occasions against their distant rulers. In 1864, the Turkic people successfully chased the Manchus, or the Manchus, from their motherland. Their independent state, which for most of 2 decades established diplomatic relations with the Ottoman Empire, Russia, and Great Britain. The Manchu Empire again gained control of East Turkestan in the early 1880s, declaring on November 18, 1884, that East Turkestan was China's 19th province. It was at this time that the imperial viceroy, Zhou Tang, officially gave the land its Chinese name, Xinjiang or Xinjiang, spelled today as Xinjiang. This new name means the new territory or the new dominion in Chinese. But it is not a new dominion or new boundary for us. We call it East Turkestan. The struggle of the East Turkestani people for control their land has continued in the 20th century. The 1933 Kumul Rebellion led to the creation of an East Turkestan Islamic Republic. A second major uprising in 1944 was also briefly successful, leading to the creation of East Turkestan Republic, which maintained its independence until 1949, when Soviet and Chinese forces combined to crush it. Since this most recent takeover, Beijing has strengthened its occupation of my homeland. Since then, East Turkestan has become a dungeon for its people. China has been constantly violating the human rights of the East Turkestanis, arresting, torturing, and killing the innocent. Hundreds of thousands of East Turkestanis who have bravely challenged the Chinese authorities have been executed, and still executing publicly. Many have fled to neighboring countries. Hundreds of thousands have been sent to labor camps. The control of East Turkestani population is enforced ruthlessly. Many thousands of families have suffered from forced sterilization, forced abortions, and economic penalties. Beijing's policy toward my country has moved beyond control toward the complete assimilations. In recent years, China has moved millions of Han Chinese into Eastern Turkestan, seeking to dilute the true native populations. Those who arrive from China are given the best jobs and the best pay and the best housing, all at the expense of the millions of East Turkestanis. Beijing has attacked East Turkestani culture, including our religion. In these days, we are not allowed to have our education in our native language. it was okay about like 5 years ago to have our education in our native language, Uyghur or Kazakh or Kyrgyz. But right now, it's prohibited. It's banned. It's illegal to conduct my history lesson in my native language. If I conduct, if I have a teacher, my history in my native language, then it's against law. It will be persecuted or punished, and this is the fact. In addition to that, our religion is banned. The Chinese law says that every citizen of China has the right to practice its religion. But it's not true. In the reality, it's not true. If you go to my homeland, it's Turkistan, many mosques, in front of the many mosques, there's a sign or banner saying that anybody who's under 18 is not allowed to enter the mosque. You understand what it means. This is the situation. This is the reality. And my people doesn't have the right to go abroad. They are just captives. They are just inmates of the communist China. In short, our entire land turned into the dungeon. Whole East Turkestan became a dungeon for us. And the whole East Turkestani people, Uyghur, Kazakh, and Kyrgyz, and the Tajiks, and so on, are the captives or inmates. In addition to that, Turkestanis are forced to speak, read, write Chinese, and to dress, eat, sing, dance, and behave as if they are Chinese. Beijing claims to respect its minorities, but we who have lived under their rule know that their real policy is one of genocide. Their goal is clear. One day, there must be only Chinese in Xinjiang. So-called Xinjiang in the map. China's lack of respect for the people of my country have been equaled by its disregard for the very land of Eastern Turkestan. We have become a dumping ground for China's environmental waste. Lopnor, a region known well by our government, by your government, by anybody's government in the world, is far more than a research center. It has become a profoundly toxic site of nuclear waste. We will never know how many lives have been prematurely ended by nuclear radiation. However, many there are, but I mean, we don't know the exact figure. But how many cancers have been spawned? How many children have been born with deformities? It's unknown, but we know that there are many, and many, thousands. The count of my own people is that there have been 500,000 deaths from the radiation alone. As the diplomats and the journalists of the free world tell you, Beijing doesn't want the world to know of its treatment of the East Turkestani people. They prefer to carry on their repression out of the sight of the world. It's true. As I said before, every single sentence or every single word what I say has a evidence, profound evidence. For instance, if China doesn't hide anything, How many journalists are able to travel East Turkestan or Tibet, for instance, freely, wherever they